We can, once you get that last headline in, we can change the headline right above it on the UVA Foundation, the UVA headline, Judah, to UVA Foundation. We got some real estate news that we're going to get to, good reporting that we're going to get to from Sean Tubbs. I admire his work. I thought we had a fantastic Jerry and Jerry show this morning. And in the middle of the show, a piece of information came up as it pertains to Jim Ryan and his employment status at UVA and how it could directly impact Carla Williams. You can, okay, great. You got that headline up? Good job, Judah. I'll play that sound from the Jerry and Jerry show for you, the viewer and listener. We'll talk about the Crozet Crepe Company coming to the old Jax's location, and we have a new candidate in the Charlottesville City Council race. It's an extremely busy day at the office today as we are, how would I characterize this? Kind of in the third or fourth inning of a new business brokerage transaction with a corporately owned, or I choose my words carefully, with a quick serve business that is for sale, a franchise that is getting significant interest, which excites me. We like putting these deals together, folks. And these deals are materializing left and right around Charlottesville and Albemarle County specifically. Like and share the show. Like and share the show. Judah Whitcower, Jerry Miller, yours truly. We're live on my personal Facebook page, Judah, good job. Live on I Love CVille Facebook, good job. Live on the I Love CVille group, Judah. I will confirm LinkedIn here in a matter of moments. We are live on LinkedIn. Excellent work, J-Dubs. Judah Whitcower is a patient man. YouTube, I will confirm here in a matter of moments. We are live on YouTube, J-Dubs. Excellent work. Folks, we're about to start. Do you see us live on I Love CVille Food?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And then I will confirm my Twitter account here, and then I think we can start the program. And I'm looking forward to connecting with the viewers and listeners. Bill McChesney, thank you for watching the program. If you're watching the show, share and like the show. We work hard for you. It's the only thing we ask in return. We don't ask for membership. We don't ask for subscription. We don't ask for donations. We're not asking Patreon. Literally nothing. All we ask is that you like and share the show. Literally, that's all that we're asking for. Very excited to connect with you today, Judah Whitcower, on what is going to be a busy day for the I Love CVille Network and our company here at the Miller Organization. All right, you want to get rocking and rolling here, J-Dubs?
Sure.
Okay, give me 7 seconds. Which headline most intrigues you, Judah? I ask you that question each day.
Well, it's nice that we've got at least a choice going into the CVille City Councilor race.
Which of the two candidates, incumbents, is most vulnerable with the news that a third candidate is running for City Council, would you say? Brian Pinkston or Juan Diego Wade?
I would say Brian Pinkston.
I would say so, too. I think Brian Pinkston is the most vulnerable, the vice mayor. We'll talk about that on the program today. I want to get your take on why you think Brian Pinkston is the most vulnerable. Nice guy. Juan Diego Wade, also a nice guy. All right, viewers and listeners, we're going to get rocking and rolling here. Judah, we can rock and roll when you're ready.
Quiet on the set.
Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille show. My name is Jerry Miller. It's a Tuesday afternoon in downtown Charlottesville. Thank you kindly for joining the program. A pleasure to connect with you guys through the I Love CVille network. This show, the water cooler of conversation and content in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and across central Virginia. Just like that, we have every media outlet in town watching the program. We love when the various legacy media watches the I Love CVille show. We have a third candidate, that has entered the race for city council. Now we have a race that offers competition. Brian Pinkston and Juan Diego Wade are the incumbents. The mayor and the vice mayor. Juan Wade, the mayor, Brian Pinkston, the vice mayor. Now they have some competition, ladies and gentlemen. We will assess the competition and we will ask this question. Pinkston or Wade, who is the most vulnerable to potentially Jen, would you say it's Fleischer, Judah?
Yeah, Fleischer.
Jen Fleischer potentially beating one of the two incumbents. We'll pick this apart like Thanksgiving turkey on the I Love CVille show today. Also on today's program, we're going to talk about Crozet Crepe Company coming to the show, coming to the old Jax's location. Crozet Crepe Company, the likelihood of a crepe company having success in the old Jax's spot. I want to thank Conan Owen of the Sir Speedy business for putting this on my radar. Conan, thank you very much. A lot we're going to cover on the show, including the University of Virginia Foundation purchasing yet another bank building on Ivy Road. Excellent reporting by Sean Tubbs. We'll offer some perspective on this, and we'll talk Region 10. $7.8 million spent for Avon Street, an office building on Avon Street. We'll highlight that transaction, $7.8 million. I want to play Jerry Ratcliffe's sound from the Jerry and Jerry show this morning. He talks this topic. If the 13 Glenn Youngkin appointments decide that Jim Ryan is no longer fit to be the president of the University of Virginia, and President Ryan's status as president is very vulnerable, very precarious. He's on thin ice, ladies and gentlemen. If the BOV decides to go in a different direction than Jim Ryan, what does that mean for the recently extended contract extension, Carla Williams, the athletic director? Jerry Ratcliffe, the Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, offers perspective on this topic on the record, in front of a camera, behind the microphone, on this network earlier this morning, highlighting conversation from two Board of Visitors members on how the dominoes could fall. Giddy up and get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for this sound from the Jerry and Jerry show this morning. We'll highlight a fantastic event, Judah, that's happening at Pro Renata, as we get a visual or two on screen. They're having a comedy night on the 27th of March. Dr. John Shabe, Brian Combs, and the team at Pro Renata in Crozet are absolutely class acts, the best of the best. And on the 27th of March, guys, they are going to welcome a big-time comedian influencer, Judah, Tim Shropshire, yeah. Tim Shropshire, okay. He is coming to Pro Renata. The event is 7 to 9 p.m. at the brewery in Crozet at the Brew Pub. $10 tickets. You can't beat that, guys. You can get an entire table with your friends or your family for $65 for a four-top. And you sit back for a couple of hours and watch some of the best comedy possible in Central Virginia. Very much looking forward to what Pro Renata is doing as they continue to embody the Disney World of Crozet, this experiential business in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. A lot we're going to cover on the program. Judah Wickhauer, before we highlight our friends at Charlesville Sanitary Supply, I want to ask you this question as we welcome you on a two-shot. Our esteemed and valued colleague, which headline most intrigues you and why?
I think that it's wonderful that we have a new candidate for the Charlottesville City Council. It's always exciting when there's a little bit of competition in these types of events, and I'll be happy to see what what discussions having a new candidate brings to our small town.
Pinkston or Wade, incumbents, mayor and vice mayor, most vulnerable and why, to the new candidate jumping in the mix, Jen Fleischer? Who's most vulnerable and why?
I would say Brian Pinkston. That would be my take.
And why?
People may not like this take, but he's a white male.
Shoot, his wick, I was going straight to it. Brian Pinkston, most vulnerable to potentially losing the race because of something he cannot control, a white male.
I mean, this is Charlottesville. This is
Is the white male in Charlottesville the Tesla of automobiles in 2025?
I wouldn't go that far, but
Good God, Judah Wickower getting right at it. Good God. Go ahead, make the case for Pinkston being the most vulnerable because he's a white male. Wow. I'm floored by this. I'm not saying you're wrong here. I'm not saying you're wrong here. You are a white male here. I'm not saying you're wrong here, but Jesus, make this point, Judah Wickower.
I mean, this area leans heavily to the left, and I feel like identity politics are a strong part of that. And the fact that Brian Pinkston is a white male, I think, puts him at a slight disadvantage against Juan Diego Wade and this new candidate, Jen Fleischer.
Neil Williamson, the president of the Free Enterprise Forum, also a white male, highlights that this is a ranked choice primary.
Oh, that's a good point.
The first in Charlottesville political history. Bill McChesney agrees that Brian Pinkston is the most vulnerable. Bill McChesney, the mayor of McIntyre, also asked, is she a Democrat? Will she be in a primary? Pinkston has the UVA ties as well. I would say this, if you're running for city council here and you're not a Democrat, you have very little chance of winning.
She is running in the Democrat primary.
Yeah, you're not going to win a race in Charlottesville and potentially Albemarle County unless you're a Democrat, folks.
Yeah.
It's just how the bread is buttered and the community we live in. I'm going to give you my opinion on this talk show. I'm not saying Judah is wrong. And Brian Pinkston has already lost a race for council. Has already lost a race. This would be his third run for council. Lost the first one.
Yeah.
Won a spot on council the second one. Now running for re-election. I want to talk about this today on the program. I want to highlight our friends at Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. 60 consecutive years in business. Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, ladies and gentlemen, online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. John Vermillion, Andrew Vermillion, the best of the best. We're talking communication, honesty, integrity, doing business the right way. John Vermillion, the one-time Small Business Person of the Year from the Charlottesville Chamber of Commerce. I love the Vermillions, and I love Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. Support the businesses you want to see make it another 60 years, and this is one you need to support.
No
Ray
doubt.
Cadell, welcome to the program. Get ready for the Carla Williams segment. If the Board of Visitors, Jerry Ratcliffe talks this morning on the record, decides to move away from Jim Ryan as the president of the University of Virginia, the talk among board members is Carla Williams may have her contract bought out. Jerry Ratcliffe explains it. We'll play that sound as this show matures in the very near future. Tell a friend the program is going on because this is a damn good show today. The lead of the program, ladies and gentlemen, on a glorious and gorgeous Tuesday afternoon is a new candidate has entered the race for Charlottesville City Council. For a while, we thought incumbents Brian Pinkston, the vice mayor, and Juan Diego Wade, the mayor, were going to have a smooth ride to the finish line. We thought they were going to run unopposed.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand like they did the first time. An announcement at the free speech wall. Not only did they make their announcement that they were going to run for re-election, they then proceeded to have a double Dutch jump roping exhibition in front of media at the free speech wall where Juan Diego Wade was doing the splits, the jumping jacks, and Brian Pinkston was doing his best cartwheels as the double Dutch jump rope. was going on. And that may be embellished slightly.
I'm flabbergasted by the fact that there is no video whatsoever of this event.
They did make their announcement for re-election in front of the Free Speech Wall in the downtown mall. They did do it in cahoots like they did the first time. There was no double Dutch jump roping post-announcement, however.
And they do have shared signage.
Everywhere in Charlottesville, there's shared signage. You can't miss the signage.
Yeah.
It's effing everywhere. Now we have a competition. Jen Fleischer?
Yes.
Jen Fleischer. Jen, you're welcome on this program. She's a program officer at the Blue Ridge Health District. She filed paperwork yesterday. She said, I'm going to run as a Democrat, and I'm going to get in that June 17th primary. And Jen says, you know what? Pinkston or Wade are going down. One of the two. She, ladies and gentlemen, jumped on the scene when she helped manage the infrastructure behind the vaccination sites that the Blue Ridge Health District had to host during the pandemic and COVID. She helped manage the vaccination sites in this health district, mobile vaccination programs throughout the region. Mm-hmm. She is a massive advocate, Jen Fleischer of regional transit, a massive advocate of, this is a page straight out of Natalie Olstrand's book, calming traffic. It's a new phrase, the calming traffic, the road diet is a new phrase that's circulating in 2025. I love these branding terms that get hurled around.
I mean, if
road diet, calming traffic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just these little catchphrases, this little like word salad, if you may. But she wants what a lot of people want, crosswalks and sidewalks and mixed use paths and a regional transit system. I can't blame her for these platform points. We need this in Charlottesville. We need a city that is less automobile-centric and more walking and biking and public transportation focused.
And friendly.
100%. She is an extremely viable candidate. The activists in this community, led by the Gillikin Gang at Livable Charlottesville, already endorsing Jen
Fleischer
as a very viable candidate and utilizing their platform saying that we have 3 very good candidates for council. Mm-hmm. The logical segue to this, Judah Wickower, as we put the second headline on screen, whose lunch is she going to eat? Whose Twinkies are she going to steal? Whose Cool Ranch Doritos are she going to gobble? Whose peanut butter and jelly sandwiches minus the crust, because Mom always cuts the crust before she puts it in your Charizard lunchbox, is she going to take at the cafeteria in the high school? Is it going to be Pinkston's Cool Ranch Doritos? Is it going to be Juan Diego Wade's Little Debbie Ho-Ho's? Or do Pinkston and Wade win in convincing fashion and utilize the value proposition of being an incumbent in a Charlottesville City Council race that will be now much closely followed with 3 candidates on the Democratic primary ticket? Judah Wickower, I can't wait to hear you continue your argument that Pinkston is the most vulnerable because he's the white male, the Tesla of automobiles, if you may.
You know, I would be interested to go out and talk to some people and ask them how big the Charlottesville City Council members are in their lives, how much most people know about the current councilors, past councilors. I don't feel like this is as big as it might be in some places. The city council, the city councilors, and I honestly don't know how much loyalty there is to to current members. I don't know. I would be interested in some type of poll, asking questions about the candidates, and I mean the counselors and this new candidate.
Perhaps Neil Williamson, the president of the Free Enterprise Forum, will host a Democratic primary Q&A.
Wonderful.
Free Enterprise Forum does yeoman's work, A+ work. Perhaps
100%.
Neil Williamson does it in cahoots with Sean Tubbs of Info CVille. We have some reporting from Info CVille that is influencing the I Love CVille show today, including the UVA Foundation buying yet another bank building on Ivy Road. I'd be willing to offer our infrastructure and our massive network for Sean Tubbs and Neil Williamson to host the three candidates in a Q&A, and we don't even have to be behind the camera. It could be Tubbs and Williamson on the I Love CVille network and the three candidates in a public forum, and Neil and Sean, we will do all the work on your behalf. You just manage and moderate the forum if you would like. I sincerely mean that. It would be our absolute pleasure to contribute to the Charlottesville political ecosystem by utilizing or offering our infrastructure and our resources for you to run a forum of your choosing. I sincerely mean that, Mr. Williamson. Sincerely mean that, Mr. Tubbs, and the three candidates. I will echo what Judah is saying, that Brian Pinkston is the most vulnerable now that we have a third candidate in this race, and we have a very viable candidate. This is not a viable candidate like Judah. What was her name that ran in the last race? Washington? What was her name?
With a Y?
Do you remember?
Vaguely.
What was her name? Was it the 2021? She came on the I Love CVille show, and goodness gracious, she was using word salad left and right. What was her name?
I swear her name starts with a Y, but I'm looking it up. Let's see.
I don't even, this shows the impact. And
Yasmin Washington.
Yaz Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yaz Washington. She was not going to win.
No.
She was on the I Love CVille show. I'm interviewing her, and I'm like,
What are you saying?
I don't want to throw shade here, but I'm sitting across from her on this program, and I'm like, you literally have zero chance of winning this race. What are we doing here? Bob Fenwick, when he ran last cycle, Bob Fenwick had no chance of winning.
Yeah.
No chance, right? We in agreement there?
Yeah.
Was it Dashad Cooper, Charlottesville City Council? Did he run?
I think so.
Was it Dashad Cooper? Dashad Cooper had no chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
No chance of winning. Jen
Fleischer
has a legitimate chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Legitimate chance of winning.
Yeah.
And Pinkston is the most vulnerable to her entering the race. And Judah makes the case that he is the most vulnerable in a Charlottesville political ecosystem that is not just liberal, but activists, socialists, extremely far left, willing to boycott Tesla dealerships, willing to boycott everything. Everything. And in 2025, ladies and gentlemen, whether we want to admit this or not, to Judah's point, the white male has some brand vulnerability. Brand vulnerability. Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Especially in Charlottesville.
Especially in Charlottesville.
Especially when they've already had one term on council.
Yeah.
Fair to say.
I think it's fair to say.
Are we speaking out of turn here or out of bounds, Judah?
If we are, somebody will tell us.
Do you think we are?
I don't think we are.
I don't think we are either.
We're not accusing anyone of anything.
It's out of his control.
It's just facts.
It's
the fact of the matter is, this is a largely liberal town, and white males, like you said, have a branding problem. And
white male has become the Tesla of automobiles.
I don't think he's going to lose it because of that, but I think it sets him back a foot.
I agree. Especially with Lloyd Snook and Michael Payne already on council.
Yeah.
Especially with 4 other males on the dais.
Yeah.
Someone make the argument, why don't we have a little bit of an eclectic, do we have an eclectic perspective problem? 4 dudes on the dais. 4 dudes on the dais. A dais of 4 dudes. 4 dudes on the dais. Right?
There are 4 dudes on the dais.
There's 4 dudes on the dais. Natalie Oshrin's like, hey, why are there 4 dudes on the dais?
Well, it's just sausage fest up here.
What? Natalie Oshrin's saying we got a sausage fest going on here.
She's not really, folks. But
Well, I would think Oshrin is thinking that.
she might be thinking
As she's driving
I'm fairly
from,
certain she would never say it.
As she's getting in her vehicle to drive to Pippin Hill to sling $250,000 weddings. But hey, we need a road diet. Counselor's getting in her car, driving to Albemarle County to North Garden to sell $500,000 weddings. But we need a road diet in Charlottesville. The only way I'm going to be able to get to North Garden and to Pippin Hill is with my vehicle. But we need a road diet. We need to emphasize public transportation.
Okay, but the road diet's not about...
There's a little bit of hypocrisy here. You have to give me that. She drives 25 minutes to Albemarle County to North Garden to sling $250,000 and $500,000 weddings.
She has a job.
And she's throwing shade on vehicles in the city.
But it's more about speed and making it easier for bikes to get around, and less about, hey, everybody trash your car because cars.
She's trashed cars. She's made the emphasis less car-centric city. She's made that.
Okay.
She's made that emphasis.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that everybody gives up their car, and it doesn't mean that people can't work outside of the area of where they live, and thus need a car.
Okay, we're
don't-
getting in the weeds here.
I don't
We're
know
getting in
that
the weeds here.
She's ever come out against
No,
cars.
she's
And
she's with her political platform at the Sausage Fest. 4 dudes on the dais deprioritize cars.
That's yes. It's different though than say somebody being for climate change and all that stuff, and then flying around to like G4 meetings on their private jet. This is a much smaller deal.
My favorite thing with Charlottesville that epitomizes Charlottesville. 18 months ago, Elon Musk walks on water and takes the loaves and the fishes and feeds the 1,000. Now, 18 months later, Elon Musk is the devil.
Drawing
And
hundreds to boycott a place where he doesn't even have the first doorpost put
It's
up
not
yet.
even open yet.
It's not even a dream yet, really. There may be a lease. There's probably a lease, but it's not like they've started building this place.
And that bevy of boycotters is anti-Tesla and electric vehicle, but pro-environment and anti-pollution that comes from automobiles.
And who's the biggest seller of
Make it make sense here.
electric automobiles in the U.S.?
Make it make sense here. A bevy of boycotters boycotting electric vehicles while at the very same time championing the environment and anti-pollution from automobiles. And 18 months ago, Musk was Jesus, and now 18 months later, Musk is Lucifer.
And most of it is because of a gesture that can be seen one way, but could just as easily have been a harmless gesture. I'm not going to get into that because it's utter insanity to fall down that rabbit hole.
Ginny Who watching the program with the retweet. Deep Throat watching from his ranch in Montana, adjacent to the Duttons. Beth and Rip right now having a little boom shakalaka in the barn. I love Yellowstone. That was a Yellowstone reference. You've never seen Yellowstone.
But they get it on in the barn?
Oh, they get it on. They get it on everywhere, Rip and Beth. Everywhere.
Okay.
They do.
That's good to know.
There's just sexual chemistry with Rip and Beth. Deep Throat says, I'm glad there's some political competition, but the new candidate does not seem that different from Wade and Pinkston. She's not.
That's why I said...
We're running the same candidates here. All 3 are the same candidates. One just happens to be a woman.
I mean, when only a Democrat can run for city council, there's definitely going to be less differences.
GP Tarver says, oh, Judah, she's anti-car for sure. Natalie Olshren. The four dudes on the dais in the sausage fest. Natalie Olshren is anti-car for sure.
Yeah, but she's not. I don't think she would ever. She would never ask everyone to give up their cars. Even people that are anti-car know that people have to drive cars.
I don't think that's actually the mindset anymore.
You think that the
mindset is trending to one vehicle per household or no vehicle per household. And the hypocrisy or the irony, depending on how you look at it, is that she drives 20 minutes, 25 minutes to sling $250,000 weddings in her car.
Okay, yeah, I know.
That you don't find that ironic or hypocritical in any capacity?
I mean, if somebody can show me a quote where she's outright like...
Oh, the viewers and listeners will. Deep Throat, GP Tarver, Deep Throat, I would love to get that quote that we can reference right there for Judah Wickower. I mean, Kevin Yancey says they're not anti-electric vehicle, they're just anti-Tesla, the bevy of protesters.
Yeah, but that's...
No. I get that. I think you're going to make a really good point here. Make the point. I think you're really going to make a really good point here.
Tesla is the leader in EV cars in America. They've led the way, paved the way, not only in EV batteries, but in setting up stations, because obviously not everybody who wants to buy a Tesla can afford to put in a Tesla charger in their garage. I don't think. Maybe it's cheap now and everybody can do it. But then there's the fact of driving around. What if you're driving to another state? You need to be able to stop somewhere and charge your vehicle. You've put it the best in the fact that a year ago,
18 years ago, this guy was Jesus Christ.
I wouldn't go quite that far.
18 years ago, this guy was Kobe, was Michael Jordan. 18 years ago, this was the Pope. 18 years ago, this was Mother Teresa. 18 years ago, who is the most beloved person on the planet right now? Seriously, who is the most beloved person on the planet? So I'm genuine question, viewers and listeners, who is the most beloved person, idolized, respected person on the planet?
Right now or back then?
Yeah, right now.
The most beloved.
Who is, viewers and listeners, Neil Williamson, Bill McChesney, GP Tarver, Vanessa Parkhill, Logan Wells Claylow, Kevin Yancey, Daily Progress, NBC 29, CBS 19, everyone watching the program, Ray Cadell, Spencer Pushard, TJ Stargell, Denise Young. Who's the most beloved person on the planet? Who? Put it in the feed, please. Do you have an answer to that? Because that was Elon Musk 18 months ago with the activists and the left-leaning ideology. Now, 18 months later, this man is Lucifer walking around. He's Lucifer. You've never seen an about-face like this. Maybe in American history.
I don't know about
Okay.
that.
Who? In American history, who has seen a brand do a complete 180 like this? Viewers and listeners, Holly Foster and Henrico, our friends in Tennessee and Georgia and West Virginia that are watching the program.
I stand on the fact that I've never liked Elon Musk.
Okay, Judah's never liked Elon Musk.
Left, right, or center, I just...
GP Tarver says Pope. The Pope. Kevin Yancey says Pope. Beth Dunlop Marcus, the Queen of Ivy, throws a little gas on the fire and says Donald Trump. Oh, Beth Marcus, you wily, mischievous lass.
You should perhaps...
She's chuckling right now watching the program.
Yeah, probably.
We got a quote from Neil Williamson for Judah Wickower on Natalie Olshren. Finish your thought, Judah Wickower, and then I'll get to the Neil Williamson quote.
I was going to say it might be better to ask that question in
God, I love you, Neil Williamson.
In terms of across the aisle, across both sides. because otherwise you're going to come up with two different answers depending on whether you're thinking of the right or the left.
Neil Williamson says, drum roll please, Judah Wickower. Drum roll please, Judah Wickower. Yes. He says, a quote from Natalie Oshrin's campaign website. Are you ready? Quote.
This is from Neil Williamson?
Yeah, about Natalie Oshrin and cars.
Okay.
Quote, reducing car dependency reduces air and noise pollution, improves accessibility for those who cannot drive or cannot afford cars, and lowers home construction costs, end quote.
Okay.
Reducing car dependency. She is
But
the definition.
But that's not a bad thing.
She's the definition of deprioritizing cars while getting in her car to drive 25 minutes one way to work and 25 minutes home to sell $250,000 a year weddings.
Deprioritizing cars is not asking to set up a place where people can
saying,
gift their cars to the city so that they can be turned into scrap.
Juan Sarmiento says Elon Musk was admired by the left-leaning. That's not true. I push back on Juan Sarmiento. That is absolutely true. Absolutely fact. Prior to his wagon hitching to Donald Trump, I mean, let's cut to the chase. Elon Musk got Donald Trump elected. There's no person more influential of getting Donald Trump elected than Elon Musk. And I can make a convincing argument that the most powerful man in the world right now is Elon Musk. Prior to his wagon hitching to Donald Trump, Elon Musk with the left was idolized. He was idolized. A golden god. And now he is Lucifer walking on earth with that same group. And straight from her website, she says, reduce car dependency, Judah.
Yeah. That's not as inflammatory as.
What do you want her to say? Do you want her to say?
I don't want her to say anything. I don't care what she says.
Take all the vehicles and take them to the scrapyard? That's basically what she's saying. Reducing
car dependency. I mean, you're making it sound like.
Judah, that's politics talk. All right, we're getting in the weeds here.
I agree.
Back to Pinkston and your argument that he's the most vulnerable because he's a white male. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm shocked that you led with that. I would love to hear Judah Wickower lead with more stuff like this on the I Love CVille show. Thought it was a great lead by you. Regardless, we're going to see ranked choice voting in action during the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
We're going to have a competitive race. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
And we're all for that. And whether it's Juan that wins or Brian that wins or Jen that wins, we got a race that's competitive, and that's good.
That is
and
good.
That's going to have more of us talking. Mm-hmm. Because Juan and Brian double Dutch jump roping at the free speech wall, hand in hand, putting signs in the front yards next to white picket fences and daisies and tulips all over the city of Charlottesville, that was getting pretty damn boring. And this 4 dudes sausage fest dais, the 4 dudes on the dais, the sausage fest was getting a pretty damn boring. And now we got a little bit of flavor, a little bit of flair. And that makes for compelling commentary from the white male Judah Wick.
Mm-hmm.
The white male Judah Wick. All right, we move on. On the Tuesday edition of the show, Ginny Who says, remember, those folks used to love Donald Trump too.
Yep.
And she also says, they hate Elon so much they can't even celebrate astronauts being rescued.
It's insanity.
It's odd. It's odd. I'll leave it at that. You take your off day away from work to go to a shopping center owned by a private equity firm out of New York to protest a business that doesn't even have signage or it's not even in operation.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's been happening around here, but I'm sure most of us have seen in the news pictures of Teslas the normal ones and the ugly silver ones, but we've seen them tagged and graffitied.
Dude, they were.
There is a level of anger and hate, and
They were ripping Corbin Snow in Snow's Garden Center on Avon because he has a Tesla. This is lives in the neighborhood. Lives in our neighborhood. He is a Snow's Nose Tesla that's been wrapped with Snow's branding.
yeah,
I see it all the time. He parks it on Avon next to the old original pickup truck for Snow's to kind of show the flip book of the history of the brand.
Nice.
The old pickup antique and the Tesla truck that's wrapped and being lambasted, being shot with arrows.
I mean, and people angry that someone has a Tesla from, say someone's had a Tesla for a year. All of a sudden they're vilified, and it's like, wait a minute, you didn't hate Musk a year ago.
I want anyone that's looking around Charlottesville right now. The Tesla is it's an extremely common car that's in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. One of the most common cars that you will see in Charlottesville and Albemarle County is the Porsche SUV or the Tesla. They are literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Life, man. Life. Bill McChesney says Elon Musk, his space program, just retrieved the astronauts that Boeing spaceship left stranded on the International Space Station.
That's great news.
Yeah. No one wants to see astronauts dying in space. John Blair says the most beloved person on the planet is probably Pope Francis. Yeah. Pope's right up there. Pope's beloved. Next headline. What do we got? Is this the Kevin Yancey throwing shade at the Cybertruck? He said it's a Cub Scout Pinewood Derby car.
I mean, that truck does deserve shade.
It's David Trecorici, the owner of Skoom's, got a Cybertruck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He drives it all over downtown.
I mean,
it does look like a Pinewood Derby car.
I'm sorry for anybody that's driving one. They're just they're tacky. I don't know.
Oh God!
I've heard. I mean, we've all probably.
Have you seen the advertising campaign he has going for the Tesla truck now? It's a beautiful girl in a low-cut top with significant cleavage, taking baseball bats to the side of the Tesla, and the bat loses the battle with the Tesla truck. Okay. Like the bat legitimately breaks and bends when whipped against the side of the Tesla truck. It's just the 2025 version of Americana. The 2025 version. This says something about our country, the state of our country right now. The 2025 version of Americana is a 25-year-old is a 20-something beautiful gal with a low-cut top and cleavage and a metal baseball bat being slammed into the side of the Tesla door, and the bat bending and breaking, and she sees, see, the Tesla wins.
That can't be real.
Oh yeah.
A metal bat. You're saying a metal bat is bending and
the metal
breaking?
Bat whipped against the side of the Tesla door, holding the metal bat like a little league metal baseball bat. The metal baseball bat loses the battle.
That's wild.
Loses the battle. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll share the link with you. Absolutely. It's the 1:16 marker. We got a show this afternoon and a boatload of content to create. Is the next headline
the crepe company?
What
coming?
What do you make of this story?
Couldn't get a few more C's in there?
What do you make of this story? Crozet Crepe Company
coming to Jax's location.
Coming to the old Jax's Bar and Grill in Crozet.
I don't know Crozet all that well.
This is across from the Harris Teeter,
okay.
Next to the ABC store, right a few doors down from where Denise Ramey has her headquarters. Denise Ramey, a pro's pro from a real estate standpoint. What do you make of this story? Right down the road from Pro Renata, March 27th, comedy night, Pro Renata. Get your tickets now. What do you make of this story? A crepe company coming to Crozet. Crepe company coming to Crozet What do you make of this story?
I think it's great. If it's even half as good as the takeaway was, I think it'll probably have buku business going on day and night.
I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Nothing but the best. Anybody who's willing to open a business, nothing but the best. Ain't easy opening a business.
No.
Ain't easy opening a food and beverage business. I had a conversation on the phone with an entrepreneur that wants to open a restaurant. And I said, what makes you think that you can open the restaurant? He said, I want you to find me a space and some partners. This is how I make my living. This is a guy that is in his late 20s. And he says, Jerry, I want you to find me a space and find me some partners and some funding. I want to open a business, a restaurant business, where I'm going to curate the front of the house experience, but I need experienced back of the house operators. And I said, what makes you think you're going to have success? And he says, I'm launched this brand and had success. I'm good at curating experiences, and I feel like I'm on the cusp of trends. I said, dude, do you know what business is the most challenging to operate in Charlottesville in 2025 right now? Probably a restaurant. Cost of goods are out of control.
Yeah.
Labor is in a shortage state, and the labor that's willing to work is a commanding top dollar. Rents are out of control, and the consumer no longer wants to eat in a dining room like they used to before COVID. They'd rather eat in their tighty-whities and their Victoria's Secret and their bathrobes while streaming Netflix or Prime or Max in their living rooms and having the food delivered via DoorDash, Uber Eats. There's a reason restaurants are closing left and right. And there's a reason we are crushing it right now with business brokerage opportunities in the F&B sector. And there's a reason savvy restaurateurs are getting out of sit-down table service like Moose and Amy and transitioning into a deli and takeout concept in Shadwell's. There's a reason that's happening. There's a reason Blue Moon Diner ain't staying open. And I talked him out of it, despite this being our revenue stream and how we pay our bills. Your salary, your mortgage, my salary, my mortgage. I talked him out of leasing a space, building a brand for him. Why? I learned this from Michael Guthrie. I'd rather disappoint you now than disappoint you later. And I found by doing business in a small community like Charlottesville, if I'm straightforward, almost brutally honest, it may sting in the moment, but it pays dividends tomorrow and down the road. Because I'm honest. I'm transparent. You choose to partner with me, it's not me blowing smoke up your tail. It's me saying, you're not fit for this type of work. Or, I see the potential. Let's go get the money that you need. Let's go find you some partners. Let's go get some collateral or figure out what your collateral is for this lease. Or maybe it's an opportunity for you to buy some real estate. Maybe we'll invest with you. Crozet Crepe Company, I want nothing but the success for them, Judah.
Yeah.
I can't think of a more challenging time. I take that back. Opening a restaurant during COVID was more challenging than this. Tonic opened during COVID. Restaurants opened during COVID. That was more challenging than now.
No doubt.
But there's been a lot of turnover at that Jax's location. A lot of turnover. Time will tell. GP Tarver says, Crepe Company is going to need lots of luck if they are opening there. The location is tough and the economy right now is not helping. 100% right. 100% right. GP Tarver also says this. GP Tarver, you're making the program better today. I hope you watch more of the I Love CVille show because you've made the program better today. People have also threatened to cancel accounts with Snows due to Corbin wrapping that truck. They are the most kind, giving family who have made such a positive impact on this community for literally generations, and they are being judged by the purchase of a vehicle. I don't like Elon either, GP Tarver says, but people are being ridiculous. I concur.
Yeah.
Corbin and Snow's an asset to this community. I hope Corbin Snow hears what I said. An asset to this community, Corbin and the Snow's brand. An asset. And to be stigmatized by an automobile, by a vehicle, it's just I can't even comprehend. I just don't understand it.
It's deranged.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Next headline at the 123-minute marker. Judah, what do we got?
Next up, we've got UVA trying to bring some affordable units to 1,000 Wurtland.
Do you want to do the who, what, when, where, why on this in succinct fashion?
I can try. You know I'm not very good at that, though.
Succinct fashion. And then I'll give you Deep Throat's response on this. Give us the succinct Cliff Notes.
The University of Virginia Foundation and the group Preservation of Affordable Housing want to build a 6-story building at 1,000 Wurtland Street and designate all 180 apartments as affordable, which is great. UVA is providing the land that it's going to be on, but they're asking for money from the city council.
Of course, the foundation that has billions of dollars in its endowment, $14 billion in its endowment, is going to ask for taxpayer handouts. Go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead. $14 billion in its endowment. Let's ask from Charlottesville and taxpayers to contribute to this. Go ahead, Judah.
What do you mean, go ahead?
Keep giving the who, what, when, where, why.
I mean, there's not much more to it. The estimated cost of the project, if the funding is in place, is $66 million. But City Councilor Michael Payne, who supports the designation, I believe that's the designation of the land as a revitalization area, which will help the university get low-income housing tax credits. He says, my understanding is UVA has made a decision to not contribute any money towards the affordable housing that they pledged to build. So if they submit a low-income housing tax credit application, they're going to need the city to spend that money for their application to be competitive, meaning other people are applying for those tax credits, and they really want those tax credits. Really, really want them.
Oh my God. Let's do some basic math, all right? Let's just do some basic arithmetic, okay? As of June 30th, 2024, Judah, write these numbers down if you could. June 30th, 2024. The University of Virginia endowment was at $14 billion, $200 million, $14.2 billion. Put $14.2 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is June 2024. I just Googled how much is in the UVA endowment. That's what shows up in the top. $14.2 billion.
Yeah.
Sam Sanders just presented a budget for fiscal year 2026 to council. And the city budget is $264 million. $264 million. You with me?
Yep.
Let's just use back of the napkin numbers. Let's say the city budget's $250 million. Okay? $250 million for the city budget. And let's say in the endowment there's $14 billion. So for every $1 billion, there is 4 city budgets. You with me?
Yeah.
So that means we can take 4 and times it by 14 and realize that the University of Virginia endowment is 56 times the size of the city of Charlottesville's budget. 56 times the size, back of the napkin.
And if they had all 14, let's just, like you said, make it simple and
Just
call
make
it
it simple.
14 billion. If they had all of that making, I mean, what's a conservative estimate?
7%,
Yeah.
8%,
How much would
9%
how much-
compound.
How much is that growing a year?
A lot. I can't figure that out right now. My calculator doesn't go that high. Okay, wait. My iPhone calculator is not going to do that.
Yeah.
UVA.
Got to get those tax credits.
We're gonna create affordable housing. Well, we're not going to give you any money. This is the definition of a street hustler.
Yeah.
The definition of the guy with a box on the corner of Midtown Manhattan with an ace of diamonds, an ace of spades, and an ace of hearts, getting you to bet $10. You win the $10 bet, and then you up it to 100, and you have no chance of winning.
Mm-hmm. And here is City Manager Sam Sanders being circumspect.
Circumspect.
He says, I can also share that I've had conversations with university leadership indicating to them the concern that there might be resistance or reluctance by council to engage in funding the project. I'd call that circumspect.
Deep Throat says this. One thing to point out about the Wortland project. POAH, that's the acronym for what's the affordable housing?
Are you kidding me? Preservation of Affordable Housing.
Okay.
POAH.
Yeah, preservation of
POAH.
affordable housing. POAH.
I think maybe I misheard, but I thought I heard you say POOH.
No. I didn't say poo.
That's what
I didn't say poo.
That's what I thought I heard.
Poo. POOH. POOH is not one of the usual suspects, Deep Throat says, doing affordable housing in Charlottesville.
No.
This project is for 180 units at $66 million. Example, land total cost is $365,000 per unit. That's not bad. Our friends at CRHA, by the way, Charlottesville Redevelopment and Housing Authority, missed another deadline to get their South First Street project going, necessitating city to extend the deadline again for its $3 million support. South First Street is slated to cost over $650,000 per unit. What in the HE double hockey sticks, Deep Throat says? Why doesn't council ask why Pooh can produce units so much more cheaply than Charlottesville Redevelopment and Housing Authority? And perhaps say that it is done funding CRHA and funding POHA.
POAH.
He says it even more pointedly. Perhaps City Council should say, we're done funding CRHA, Charlottesville Redevelopment and Housing Authority, and PHA, Piedmont Housing Alliance, boondoggles, and instead we're going to focus on finding efficient LIHTC, the low-income housing tax credit developers to support. It's a damn good point from Deep Throat.
Wonderful point.
Damn good point from Deep Throat. I'm going to respond to his comment. We just mentioned this on air. Damn good point. Period. Send. It's now going in the interwebs from downtown Charlottesville to a ranch in Montana. It's crazy the communication you can do because of the interwebs. All right. Next headline. What do you got? Judah Wickauer. Neil Williamson slinging some content on the comment section of my personal Facebook page. Check it out. Rob Neal offering great insight. He says, on a 6% return, the foundation is generating $840 million on its $14 billion. Gosh, Rob Neal, thank you.
Per year?
$840 million on a 6% return, yes.
Compounded.
1 year, it's $840 million from Rob Neal. Rob Neal, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. So that means the $840 million, Judah, that it generates
They could
is more than 3 times Charlottesville City's yearly budget.
Yeah.
And the foundation is saying, Charlottesville, we need some help from you.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I don't even recognize the University of Virginia anymore. I do not recognize this brand anymore. Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Next headline, what do you got?
We are continuing on the subject of UVA with the foundation buying a bank.
Okay, I want to save this headline and the next headline. Sean Taub's great reporting. The UVA Foundation, this will be on tomorrow's show if you want to earmark these for tomorrow when we're scrambling for headlines, because this is not how we make our living. We do not make our living doing this. The University of Virginia Foundation, Sean Tubbs reports, purchased 2100 Ivy Road for $2,625,000. That was the site of the old Wells Fargo Bank. The purchase price is 22.666% above the 2025 assessment of $2.14 million. Interestingly, in that same story, Region 10 Community Service Board purchased the office building at 1110 Avon Street for $7.8 million. Unbelievable. These Region 10s and these nonprofits just have obscene amount of money at their disposal. It's unbelievable to me. I want to highlight these transactions, which you can find on Sean Tubbs' website on tomorrow's edition of the I Love CVille show, because it's paramount I play the sound from Jerry Ratcliffe's program, the Jerry and Jerry Show today. Is that the last headline, the Jerry and Jerry Show headline?
That was number 7.
Okay, we want to remind the viewers and listeners that there's a fantastic comedy night going on at Pro Granada on March 27th. $10 tickets, some of the best comedy that you will find in the Commonwealth of Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to close the show with audio from the Jerry and Jerry Show and Virginia Sports Hall of Famer Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe. John Blair says, believe it or not, I lived at the site where the Wortland project is being proposed. I lived there with 6 other guys, and we all paid $200 a month from 2002 to 2003. $200 a month. He said he also lived on Cherry Avenue for $75 a month for one room in 2001. It is absolutely insane to me. I moved out of the villas at Southern Ridge and transitioned it from a condo that I owned and lived there as my primary residence into a condo I owned and rented. And this was in December of 2013. In December of 2013, Judah, that villas at Southern Ridge 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo, I rented it to a single mom with 4 children, for $1,000 a month. That condo, 12 years later, is approaching $3,000 a month in rent. Mm-hmm. From 2013 to 2025, it's gone from $1,000 a month to $3,000 a month.
This is fun.
Insane. All right, we're going to close on what I found to be jaw-dropping commentary and jaw-dropping reporting from Jerry Ratcliffe, the Virginia Sports Hall of Famer. I will set the stage. If the Board of Visitors chooses to fire Jim Ryan, who is on shaky ground at best, the Board of Visitors may also choose to buy out Carla Williams and her contract. In fact, many on the Board of Visitors, according to Jerry Ratcliffe, who you will hear in a matter of moments, were completely infuriated by Jim Ryan extending Carla Williams' contract as athletic director at the University of Virginia. Here is Virginia Sports Hall of Famer Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe, an award-winning writer who just went to his 51st straight ACC basketball tournament, talking about what he has heard from Board of Visitors members as it pertains to Jim Ryan's employment status and Carla Williams' future at the University of Virginia. Do you have that sound?
I do.
We're going to play this sound, and then we'll end the show. 3, 2, 1. He says, if a head coach is looking for an athletic director and a school president to have his back, how is Jim Ryan's tenure with the Board of Visitors and Carla Williams' status with the powers that be looking right now? I'll add some color to this comment here. Jim Ryan is 110% in the crossfire of the Board of Visitors, where 13 of the appointments are Glenn Youngkin's appointments, and the 13 appointments of Youngkin, their ideology does not match with Jim Ryan's way of governing a school.
You're exactly right.
I will also offer a little color here on Carla Williams. push back on Mr. McChesney with Carla Williams. She was extended with her contract. So Jim Ryan's his presidency is on vulnerable ground. Carla Williams did get a contract extension.
She did, and from what I've heard from a couple of Board of Visitors members through the grapevine is that part of the BOV did not want her to be retained, and that should there be a change in school presidents, that there could be a move to buy her out.
Wow, that right there is fresh news that I have not heard from Jerry Ratcliffe.
Now, I don't know that that's going to happen, but I know that it has been discussed.
I had not heard that. That right there is one of the best tidbits of information on the show right there.
Yeah. So, and that was told from two different Board of Visitors to two colleagues of mine, and I thought that was interesting that they would say that, even though the situation seems to be really up in the air with Ryan and the BOV.